and bese sifuna ukuthi sibathole soku late manje baba you can join us here. Amen. Welcome sir, thank you very much. So sibonile ukuthi siyeshiye abo baba insizwa zethu emuva, more especially ngithande le element abazoyithinta about prison. Ngithandile leyo element about prison because abantu abasha or sonke nje umuntu nje generally, you know, people they are destroyed because of the lack of knowledge. Any knowledge, you don't have to go and buy it somewhere or buy a book. Any knowledge, you just attend and listen to people who went through those things, and then you get empowered. Amen. So ziyashota zona yebo kodwa we are trying to mobilize, and the reason of these meetings, Baba, we are not actually doing this as a church, but we are doing this with other stakeholders. We've got stakeholders like RHI, so we introduce manje, and then our theme for these meetings is Kulumandod. Amen. So nikhululeke nje baba, akuna mama la ozawuthi kuwe manje wena waye umhleba kwabanye baba. Nangabe khona into ofuna ukuyibuza nento ofuna ukuyisho, khululeka. Ubishop sizocela ukuthi naye eze ngapha phambili. Amen. Thank you, Bishop. You can come. Mfundisi Maldini na asesinye isitulo lapha. Nazi ezinye itulo. You're comfortable there. Okay. Thank you, Bishop. Welcome, sir. Right. Itika ngaseqitha isikhathi. Let me introduce our first speaker. Ngegama lenkosi. Amen. Are you excited to be here, Baba? Yeah. Amen. So, sizoqala ngo speaker wethu Mr. Bokang Jackson Morure. He is the one who is going to start, and he a clinical and mental. He is a nurse and by profession. Amen. That's what he deals with. He deals with men's health problems, and also he's from the, what is this? I think it's Uzazishoyena, and he's also a keynote speaker. He addresses conferences by Mbiza, also address Abu Baba. He's a nurse by profession, but he's a keynote speaker in conferences Abu Baba. La Asiza Kona Abu Baba about the men's health. He's also a men's health activist. So now Sno Rato as well. Rato Polo is a project manager in their organization. Amen. Let's welcome them. And then he's a project manager, men's health program. He lead from is I think you'll introduce yourself as well. So also Lorato is also on the same men's health researcher. So bafowethu asibonge uNkulunkulu about these guys here today. Let's appreciate them because baye bathatha isikhathi sabo beza la ukuzosiza lana nokuthi sikwazi ukuthi si understand ezinye izinto. So bazozichaza, and then ukuthi yobani futhi nokuthi bayenzani kuba kuhle ukukhuluma bona. It's good that I've introduced them. And then also sinomfundisi Mbatha phakathi kwethu who is our guest speaker. He'll be the last. Into engiyithandile ngomfundisi Mbatha ukuthi umfundisi Mbatha uNkulunkulu umsizile ungenile lapha yanaka emgodini omnyama lapha lo yamgodi omnyama bathi prison uNkulunkulu wamsiza kulo yamgodi omnyama wamsiza uNkulunkulu namhlanje he is a pastor uphethe ibandla likaNkulunkulu ithi amen. So it's good when you hear from the horse's mouth ukuthi uyenjani lapha yini into emlidele ukuthi azangene lapha ya uzanitshela nabo number ukuthi o number yini. So le yite for our young men. Yes. Yeah, yite for our young men ukuthi avoid indaba yokuthi uye lapha nomgodini omnyama ngoba now ngeke nawuzoya emgodini omnyama so uzwila la uzabe awulaleli. Amen. And then also ke bazalwane we've got our guests also who are here. Silomfundisi uNgubeni sengishilo sengibabalile bonke. And thank you so much and thank you that really wa whole liberty. Amen. Let's allow Mr. Mururi to come forward and then he will do his presentation. Let's put our hands together. Yeah, the connection is how does it connect the left side? It's at the back.
Please,
yeah.
Because I need to move the slides.
Yeah, can I wipe that please? Let's wipe this microphone.
Madoda. Yeah, so usually when we visit the men's conference, we say Madoda, and then everyone says Ndoda. That's how we do it. Madoda. Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Ntate Muruten. I appreciate the invitation to come here today to discuss the little bit of knowledge that I have with you, and then so that we can exchange knowledge. It's not that I'm coming here to lecture, it's a discussion to say how best can we fix some of the things that are broken in our society, and particularly men. So my presentation will be more on health, specifically on health. But health, when we talk health, we don't talk high blood, we don't talk diabetes. Health starts with, it's holistic. Your emotions, your mental health, your physical health is part of your health. So it's pointless for me to treat headache whilst I don't know what started that headache. Giving Panadol is not a solution, but dealing what causes the headache, that might be a solution. So mental health is not something tangible. You can't touch it. You can't say kisiso. So you can deal with it. Utube base, Kastwana. I'm Tswana, by the way. Utube base and then untseboladu. But with mental health, once you think that you are going the right direction, one thing can trigger you and take you back 10 steps back and start afresh. That's one thing about mental health. And it needs to go with your physical health. Unfortunately, if you are not well, you don't become well physically. We can tell that what this person is not okay. All right. So I'll be touching on, we know we talk a lot about high blood, diabetes, mental health, but I think my presentation will be on physical health for men, mental health for men, HIV and GBV. And I'll touch on one aspect that may be new to some, the chemical aspect that affect the mental health of men on our daily basis, on how your roll-on, how your lotion that you apply every day affect your mental health. How does it affect your endocrine system for you not to be able to think proper? I want us to go that direction. Because it's easy for us. In many conferences, we do blame to say this person is having childhood issues. Yes, we talk about those are social aspects to say, that's why but we don't look at the chemical aspect of things. on what we eat every day, how does it affect us? How does genetically modified food affect your mental health? How does it affect the health of also not only the young ones and the older ones and our counterparts, our female children, our female partners? For example, if you can check a 16-year-old 25 years back and a 16-year-old now, two different people in terms of their physique. And how does that make you as an old man to feel like this one is for me? Hence we have in such high number of age issues in relationship, whereby a 65-year-old will date nice and easy with a 16-year-old because physically that person is ready, mentally she is not, because of the genetically modified food that we eat. And also I'll touch on the fact of fatherhood, to say how is it simple and difficult at the same time to be a father or not to be a father in our society. So I'm not sure how far are the gentlemen. So my plea would be, if I'm a little bit too fast, I would appreciate if maybe you note down your question and we'll have a Q&A session after my session. Please. So just to include on the introduction, we have people that we call coaches amongst our midst. Coaches are people living openly with HIV to make sure that they body or they encourage those that are struggling to cope with the HIV disease. So I would like Mzwandile to just stand up as one of our key coach, so that we can know him, and going forward we can link all our family members with our coach. Let's welcome Mr. Mzwandile Ido. Meanwhile, I think maybe I should give you just a background of some of my presentation. You'll get us along the way, leadership. So I just want to give you a brief background. So it's important to, when you're in such platforms, to talk about some things that were researched, that we have proof of, not assumptions. So it is said that in South Africa, about 1/5, which is 21.3% of children aged between 17 and less, did not live with their parents, both parents. It says 21.3%. And a shocking 61.8% of children under the age of 18 live without their fathers. That's where we come in. 21.3% was both girls and boys under the age, but now we're talking about fathers, the absence of fathers in our society. We're sitting at a whooping 61.8%, which is way too much to say I don't have a father. And I don't want to sit here and blame fathers to say why you are not there. We don't know. There are so many reasons. So a research was done to say why are we sitting at this large portion of children without their fathers. So we didn't look at both mothers and fathers. We specifically went for fathers. All right. So our population in 2020 was 60 million, with 20 million as children in South Africa. So 20 million were children, 60 was everyone. 36% of children live with both biological parents. 36. I'm not sure, but let me move. Okay. So 36% only of children live with both parents, biological parents. We don't talk about mama atliega ngwana mo lenyalong. We talk about biological ones, both mama and papa in the same household. 20% live with neither parents. Large majority of children live with extended family. We know Banabako. I think some of us have been there. So that's 20% of us. Just to give you a bit of a background, 60% are reported fatherless and father absenteeism. So this one is more specific now. To say father are absent, not dead. They are alive, but they are absent. So we talk about absent fathers at this 60% in Mzansi. Most children live only with their mothers, 4.2%, while much smaller percent, 4.0%, of children with only their fathers. So those that live with their fathers only, it's 4%. To say Kidula le Papa, it's only 4%, which is not good, but it's better than 0.2. Yeah. So we need to identify our roles as fathers. We need to know our roles. We need to know, and our roles should match our responsibility. So it's a matter of title versus role. You as a father knowing that you are a father, but you don't play your role as a father. The title says you are a father, but you don't play your role as a father. Research shows that children who grow up without the active, positive presence of men in their lives are significantly risk of being victim of perpetrators of violence, including GBV. That's research. Drug and alcohol abuse, mental health disorder, teenage pregnancy, poor education, and economic outcomes. So once we thinking that then we are making our kids vulnerable to such behaviors. I think we all know that. That's a common one. And then description of a father. So this research was done in Gauteng and Mpumalanga. So they wanted a positive descriptions of a father, to say, how do you describe a father? To the positive one. Some, they said provider, some hero, leader, role model, defender, anchor, responsible, stability, respect, love, and giving. Those were positive response. And the negative response were like violence, abuser, absent, irresponsible, some they were called ATMs, distant, dictator, as good as dead. Those are the response we got. And we went on to look at the aspects that affect one to be present in the life of a child. So when we go to the cultural aspect, we talk about damage, we talk about lobola, we talk about birth. So we need to come in a position where we become honest with ourselves and the society and the legal system, where a woman can make you a father, but if a woman doesn't want to make you a father, she has that power. She has that power. You can mutually agree to say, okay, we are doing this. We don't want a child. It happens that she fell pregnant. She has the power to decide if you will be a father or you won't be a father. You don't have any power, whether you have money or not. If she decides, but you know what, I know we agreed that we will make an abortion or morning after pill. I didn't drink those morning after. I don't want an abortion. It's against my culture. It's against my belief. So long time sharp. You are an absent father, number one. Right from that statement, you are an absent father because you are excluded from the child's life. Later in life, 10 years down the line, you appear as a father who were not there yet. The woman said you shouldn't be there. And now you don't know, should I, shouldn't I? Because the power was there. So we need to get into that legal framework to say, how do we then control this? Because they have a power, or not. We need to look into that also, the government. So one other thing is unemployment, lack of ability to provide. So they are called ATMs. ATMs because they give. So taking care of a child, they use monetary value to take care of a child, but emotionally and mentally. So when you use monetary value, you can send money on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis. Sorry, but the problem is you are not there to see the developments of your child, to tell if this child is having some issues or not. And on the legal framework, the challenge again, if you've been absent maybe for 5 years, now what's happening is that you are liable for the areas of 5 years when it comes to maintenance. You'll pay areas, like it was for the first time I hear that there are areas more money, because one is not a car, it's not a house, it's not like and then auto repossess you or something, but there are areas. Just be mindful of that. To the young ones, my advice would be, if I soon be the one, how make sure go playing a right. Unfortunately, most of us, we didn't know, or we don't know when is the right time, who's right. We don't know much because of how we grew up, the setup, the environment. The Kasi on its own, it's a system. Kasi the way it is, it's a system. There are a lot of negative things, Kasi, over positive things. You'll find one library, a lot of talents, for example. And the way geographically, the way the thing, it's a challenge. If you can check every rank, most of the rank, especially in Kotoropo, more than the rank thing, somewhere there. And it's legally, it's licensed. I no problem. I question it because it's there for a purpose. Its purpose is to deal with Batuaba Parliamentics and give Mamba Parliamentics majority. Think about it. Just the food for thought. And one other thing is drug and alcohol, migrancy, and historical issues. Like if you can check some families, 3 generations back, past generation, even some of us, our fathers are not there. We are continuing, we are living Bana somewhere in Rona. It's a historic thing. So, there's this thing of normalizing toxic traits. Toxic traits, they tend to be normal. Like, for example, if you can check in our community, for us to get what we want, we need to bend tires. It's a wrong thing, but it became normal because that's how we get attention. But it's a very abnormal thing to do on how to solve things. So if the community thinks Benadi tire is a good thing, community is made by individuals. So you also think that hitting someone is the way to get attention, to deal with this person, for you to be felt or for you to be felt or you are present. Then you think that fighting is the way to go. Those are some of the things. And that's where I tap into a space here, toxic masculinity. There's masculinity, there's toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity are those negative traits. And there's toxic feminism. There are those women who will make you feel very, very down. They'll drop you down. A woman, take you at their position, title, everything I will expose it. Naked. You'll feel naked to a very bad. You'll feel naked. That's toxic feminism. I understand. And you know, when we talk about legal things, you know, we talk about women empowerment all this time. Women empowerment. But we're leaving out the young boys. All right? And later, and I'm saying this confidently, 20th of August, later in life, maybe 20 years down the line, we'll be having men empowerment. Yeah. Because there's imbalance.
Yeah, cycle.
Yeah, it's a cycle. It's a cycle. And we are embracing it. And because our women are getting what they want,
yes,
they don't see it. Because now, opportunities are there. The role of a man tend to be like, I don't need a man. I don't need a man. So that's why you get worried. There are sides. Remember, when there's a gap, there's an opportunity for business. So when women feel entitled, sites or white people think of it to say, okay, we open a site for women to go and seek for pleasure, a website. They'll go on that Tinder, get someone just for pleasure, and then that person goes. Sorted. Ke boss o mosebetsi, o gola tšhelete shapo, bana ba hlokometse. Culturally, in religion, I need tšhelete. So money sometimes has its wrongdoing, or the person. Yeah, I should say the person. You see, yeah. So those are some of the things. Just a food for thought to think about it, good people. I'm not sure is everyone still here. Yeah, but so some guys responded from it was a mail. We had one from GP, one from Eastern Cape, GP, Eastern Cape, and Malang. So we can all agree that now it's all about money. Money talks. That was the guy to say, why are you absent? That was his response. From Gauteng, age 18 and 35. That, you know, that's the stage where things are happening. You know, before 30, many things are happening. Before 30, that's where most of the decisions that you take, they'll build you. That period is very, very key. That 20, you are energetic, you are vibrant, opportunities are there. The only thing you are running short of is money at that time. But you do get some money there and there. But you don't have enough time for some of the things, especially to learn. You don't have enough time because it's busy. And also to show that Kasiki system, they allow that. The Kasiki babies, gigs, sports, so many things. And then you tend to forget so many, some of the things. And you know, even our education system, you know, I once said this on a conference to say, can at least in a syllabus that is taking place, can we have a period that deals with mental health? A period, not a whole syllabus, but a module that deals with mental health, both women and men, young boys and young women, or young girls, just to give them coping mechanism, because that's where, you know, what's happening in that age, about 15, 16. Remember, they reach puberty, emotional change. They start mensing, some they start getting erections. Many things are happening. And they are eating genetically modified food that affects their hormones. Their hormones are affected by so many things. The environment, things are changing. They are so confused. That's the most confusing period in life when it comes to the physical being of one. So how to cope with stress will be very, very key for them, because that's where we have a lot of suicide after matric. That's where we have a lot of them not being able to cope with failure, a subject, or the failure. I think that's lack of knowledge. If you fail a subject or a standard, your life doesn't revolve around grade 12. Though it's important, but because of lack of knowledge, you'll never, if you are knowledgeable, commit suicide from grade 12. Unless your pressure rises from external pressures and allowing them or not being able to cope with the pressure that is exerted to you from the society, from the family, from friends, from partners. It goes like that. Goes to all of us here to say, if you are knowledgeable, you will never hot money also if you are knowledgeable. Knowledgeable in terms of coping with stress. Not knowledgeable who have a bachelor's degree. No. There's botlhale ba bophelo le botlhale ba dibuka di ntse a tshwana. O ka ya sekolong o pass o wa o ipola le doctor. Or o bola ngwana o le doctor o boleile bana. There's this doctor who killed 3 of his kids now. He who flew to New Zealand last week. Yeah, I mean, ke botlhale ba dibuka. Yes, o pass tsona le degree, medicine, good. But ba bophelo bone ha bo batle dibuka, bo batla experience. Bone ha bo batle thotse dingata. Bone ai shema ke o gana ona le di surgery tse teng. Ha o se botlhale ba bophelo, and botlhale ba bophelo ha bo tshwane le ba dibuka. Bo dibuka you study and then you write exam. Bophelo it's an exam and then that's where you learned. You look back and say, "Ish, that thing taught me, that experience taught me, that situation taught me this." That's one thing about life. So unemployment, he can't provide. Prevented from being a father because he can't provide. How to stay away by choice or forced to stay away sometimes. So those are some of the things when it comes to fatherhood. I'm done with fatherhood. Quickly moving to the topic of the day, which is Kulumandode. Unfortunately, we can't project. I wanted you to see exactly what I'm talking about, but I'll talk to it to say when we talk about Kulumandode, I think it's more of us having a safe space to talk about our issues. And where it starts by accepting that you have problems, you have issues to deal with. It's easy to blame. We can sit here all day and talk about the system. We talk about Kasi as a system. We talk about all these things. But we need to start with ourselves as an individual first. To say, you know what, some of the things I learned, I need to unlearn them. Because you taught them from the society. So we usually say, manhood is not taught, is caught. Along the way as you walk, you catch this. Along the way as you walk, you catch this. And those things build you, and you think you are the right person for a particular region, for a particular situation. You think you'll solve, no, which is not the issue. You'll never know what you are doing is right or wrong until you see the outcome. So only the outcome can determine if what you are doing is wrong or right. And we relationshiping, we are very, very toxic. We are toxic to ourselves. Because we thought, but then you notice that it triggers. With mental health, it's so sad that one thing can trigger you. And Ikabusan to have 20 years. I always say that. Ikau trigger and it will make you the worst person ever on earth. From being that right so
to being one of the most evil guy. And that's the society. And judge you from that situation, depending how worse it is. Like killing, for example. You know, some of the things, yeah, he did wrong, but if you look at them, we don't have control over. Some we do have control over, some we don't have control over. For example, if you can self-defend now and kill a person, that's a sin. But you was defending yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. So mental health is a critical aspect of overall well-being, encompasses of both mental and physical dimension. Recognizing the interconnection between those two aspects is essential for achieving holistic health by addressing mental and physical health. So there's a period of feeling sad and then the person says, I'm depressed. You know how people now embracing depression, it's a problem. Because how it is, how is it presented to social media, to everything, to say depression is real. You know, by saying depression is real, subconsciously, everything that you feel that is negative, you'll think or depression, which is not the case. You are feeling sad because of dumb people, for example. You are not depressed. Let's stop nurturing these mental health disorders and say, no, I have some mental health disorder. You know, it's surprising that, especially, you know, there are this, not in a bad way, but I observed this, most of them would tell you, I have a mental health disorder. And also to I was not alright. No. But when once a person embrace I have a mental health disorder, I'm telling you, that's a manipulative person. That's not a sick person. That person is not mentally ill. She is manipulative. That's why you no. And that's a bit deceiving. No, na vele kinale bipolar. Go hire bipolar. Yeah, that's there. That's a red flag, especially to the young ones. I'm telling you this. I'm not saying they don't deserve to be in a relationship. No. When you get into a relationship with such, make sure that you acquire necessary help as possible for your partner. They need help. Because we need to admit, Lerona, that we are dealing with a society that is having some issues. They need healing. Our partners need healing. Truth be told. And you know, women, when you tell us that, I can need a healing. We're not going to mark every time. Because we're not that text. So anything, you know, I'm telling you, because when you go and, you know, some of the things, it happens. When you go and tell your partner some of the things that I'm saying now, it's serious. But in pizza and then make it, then that's when yeah, she would go because of your history, how she knows you, perception, what she built in her mentality. That's where it goes. So what I wanted to clarify is that a period of feeling sad, it's not depression. Let's not own up to depression to say, I'm depressed, I'm not feeling well, I want to commit suicide. And some, they do this because they see it somewhere from their role models, like Ricky Rick, some Basmula by Katamo, for no reason. Why we Katamo? If you establish and if we have one-on-one, you'd hear Ramoto, Hasi into, yeah, it's about honestly, he doesn't know what he's doing, especially young boys. I come across a lot of them. They don't know what they are doing. Because he was dumped, he was a part of a gang, for high school, and then the person decides, no, you don't know what you are doing. bo tata rona ke ntate moholo tla olela khale ba dampiwa o tsepame le today khale ba tloelwa ba zama ba o tse ba today rona re weak, not in a bad way. We don't handle things, yeah, we don't handle things like the way our elders used to handle. I mean, if you were able to take care of your kids, apartheid systems were not there, good education was not there, everything was so short for limited, but you were able to groom or obelebana baba lekanan le rona and then be clothes and to so we also need to check, and I'm not blaming young boys. I'm saying we need to check what is it that leads us to do such. So we need to get to the aspects that leads to that. So depression, feeling of persistent sadness and hopelessness. Persistent, not only Saturday, negele down, ki depressed, and then I start posting on my status. Yane, pela or yane, you want attention. People will ask, Dinta, no sawar. 2 weeks down the line, you committed suicide, not because you were depressed, you were sad. You were sad, not depressed. Yeah. So I have some pictures here, but we can't see them. So,
we can see.
Oh yeah, so we can see. Oh right, good. So I just wanted to explain that. So,
there's too much light. Jay,
oh, but yeah, okay, yeah. So those are some of the pictures, but we can go on and note it in the demo. Be quick, yeah. So I wanted us to check these chemicals. They might sound bombastic, but you find them on our daily life situations. It's called BPA, found in our plastic, food containers, beverages, cans, and receipts. Potential effects disrupt the endocrine system, may contribute to anxiety, depression, and cognitive deficit. So BPA, if you check your elements, it has BPA. Tupperware, only Tupperware aqua America and Canada, they are without BPA. So they do have BPA. That chemical has an impact on your endocrine system. Endocrine system is your hormonal profile, how your hormones work and how do they control your moods. So BPA does that. And also your cognitive. When we talk about cognitive, we talk about your creative thinking. So imagine if you are exposed to BPA from birth to the age of 65 or to the age of 35, where you need to be at your peak. Your cognitive is suppressed. Your mood swings are controlled by the very same BPA. Those are some of the things. BPA. I'll run quickly, Mr. Muru.
No problem.
Sorry. Yeah, I just want to touch on this. Aluminium, you find it on your roll-on. Go and check your roll-ons. Nivea, it has aluminium. And look at the time we start using roll-on. By the age of 12, sure. On a daily basis. Every day, maybe sometimes we tap and look at the age of 12, you are using aluminium, your body in J, it's changing. Socially, you are exploring. You are, I think that's a puberty stage. Your hormones are changing. So it's a lot happening from one individual. So these are the things we can control. We have control over. We just need to know. The only problem is that we don't know. There are aluminium-free roll-ons that we can use. There are aluminium-free roll-ons. And remember, one would ask for why roll-on affect the mental health. remember where you sweat, that's where they can come in. One question was asked when we spoke about STI to say, but najanza, how can I get infection cancer? The same way ka roll on, same thing. The same way ka lotion, same thing. So be mindful of aluminium. And some medication like myogel, for example, myogel ulcer, it has aluminium. Myogel tastes like tip. If you have used the myogel, it tastes like tip. So it does have that effect also. It deals with epigastric pain, or what we call heartburn. Fine physical heartburn, but then you are left with that. Just be mindful. Those are some of the things. And then we talk about lead, LEDE, found in plastic-based, contaminated water, soil, and certain consumer products. So these are some of the things. You'll find them in the packet, Yadijo. You'll find them. And you'll read them, and you don't care. You don't know.
Yeah.
Actually, you don't know. Not that you don't care. You don't know what this has this particular effect on me, on my health. They will tell you, yes, in it's a cancer. That's the only thing they'll tell you. Like microwave. They'll tell you microwave, can tap away when you eat dishes in microwave a lot, you are exposed to cancer. That's what you know. But you don't know what's released from that plastic and how does it affect you. I mean, kettle, for example, kettle, it's plastic. You boil water every time again. And when it's hot, that plastic, that's when it releases that chemical. So whenever you drink that water, you have BPA on your water. I'm just some thought. Wrap your thoughts around that, and try to find the most suitable replacement for such. I just hope it makes sense to I just hope I'm relevant. Yeah. If I'm irrelevant, please correct me. I was talking about the LED, potential effect, neurotoxicity, cognitive deficits, behavioral issues, increased risk of mood disorder. Sometimes I give you sharp, you'll never know, or it's because secondary to such. Yeah. So I made an example. Yeah, I made an example this other day. The ARVs that we are drinking. All right. I'm a big fan. I give patients ARV. I'm a clinical mentor at the moment. So I mentor people, nurses that are specializing on HIV. So I make sure that you give the most relevant ARVs to a most relevant patient. All right. But I cannot confidently say I know what's in there. I'm given a box, go clinicking, to say give batho ba ba tshwereng ke HIV, batho ba ba tshwereng ke hlooho, this and that and that. Yes, they deal with hlooho, but what about those side effects? We had men ba ba nang le matsele back then. I'm not sure those who know but ARV back then from the year 2009. I've been in this game for some time, where they started, whereby they caused what we call gynecomastia. And then it also went on to have erectile dysfunction. To say sometimes I start yeah, it had. And a pride of a man, if you want a pride of a man, it's in his pants, the pocket and the zip. Two. Yeah. Yeah, it's a safe space. Yeah. Yeah. So, but I wanted to bring to your attention that those are some of the things. To say, we give people what we are taught to be right for people. doctor, nurse. You know, psychology is something. Dealing with mental health is something different from dealing with diseases that needs medication. For example, you can't, okay, I don't disregard or discourage mental health, but it's a bit worrying to stress about your relationship, to stress about finance, and then you go on to drink medication. It starts with social issues, you being unable to manage your money, but then you go on to drink medication for failing to manage your money. It doesn't make sense, honestly. I mean, the thing you need to do is to learn how to manage money. That's a step to take. Not for you to go and consult to a hake sharp. You know, embracing mental health sometimes, that's our problem. Embracing mental health, that's our problem. You see, deal with that relationship, find coping mechanism. Don't go on and drink the pills. Because, okay, but then those medication, in a long run, it are something else. In a long run, it's liver cirrhosis. Only to find out that's cover. And that's a problem. That's a disease. You are sick. So I need to move on to the next slide. One other thing is mercury. By sikit. That's movable. Yeah, this skate. Yeah. So found in certain fish, especially the industrial area, they dispose their waste in rivers. So those fish are exposed to mercury. So you eat that fish, it has mercury. It has these effects. That's how life goes. It's funny how this cycle goes. And what the potential effects is neurological and cognitive impairment, mood disturbance, anxiety, and depression. So depression is real, yes, it's real, but socially let us not invite it. Chemically or biomedically, this might be the effect. Let us just be aware of that. And then we have PFC, found in non-sticky cookware, waterproof fabrics, food packaging. So this other time also, I'll always refer back. There's this pen, the non-sticky pens and the sticky pens. But one of this one is directly to men. So the non-sticky, and then skill poto, so the more it hits, the more it releases PFC. The more it hits, and then that heat goes to the meat, and then you eat that meat. We like meat, and remember our meat, for example, like pork. Those are minerals that are artificial, so they can also have an impact on your that one is directly to your erectile dysfunction, because they deal with your hormonal profile, which is your testosterone level. So if the testosterone level is down, even the desire to have sex, it's a problem for you, isn't that? Not much, but the desire to have sex. Yeah, you'll be like, man, next week, man, tomorrow. You lose interest from being a stallion to losing an interest. Yeah, it happens. From being a stallion, to losing an interest. So you don't seek help. You think it's something easy, something and then maybe for some time join a gym and that desire comes back, that things come back, and then you think you are alright. And then after a period, so it's a tricky one, something you cannot track because you don't know. But after today, you know. One thing nice about today, you'll take note of very small things. They are small and you'll never hear them anywhere unless you read. Even gospel, they'll never tell you about this. They will never. You need to find it deeper, man. this is one of the reasons why men are being the way they are, why they are behaving the way they behave, why banal erectile dysfunction at the age of 29. Back then we didn't have that problem. At the age of 29, no yana wa bolela hore man ha sa tsoga ke etse jwang. And ba tshaba ho bua because ba compete. Ba bolela hore ngwanolo ke mo ntse eng, ba etsa di-video, banyana ba ba judge according to that, and it goes to social media standards to say waka last how long. Those are some of the things. So utlo tswafa o tla mo. So even the ones, I always commend them, those ones that come to me and say, man, I have this problem. First of all, before I explore anything, because we always say it's mental. Yes, it's mental, but there are biochemical issues that affect also your erection. It's not only diabetes, and it's not that diabetes people can't erect. No, we need to correct that one also. To say, pariena monna mosadi monna ai ona le sukiri nna ke ke ni ra ke ya ke no. And the minute o tseba hore ke na le sukiri wena mentally hore e tlo because you conditioned yourself because of the knowledge that you are having. Your knowledge is that motor diabetes heights or motor high blood heights, which is not the case. Controlled diabetes, controlled high blood, erection normal. Let us correct that. Unfortunately is that when you grow, as we grow, the testosterone level drops. It drops. Everything drops. Your height drops. Everything drops. Weight loss. Everything, you lose everything as you grow. So let us be mindful of that. And then we have what we call glyphosate. Herbicides, these ones, like sometimes the pesticides, these chemicals that kills the wheat. Yeah, those. So exposure to tsone can also lead to that. Air pollution, nitrogen dioxide, it also have that impact to the society, especially those around the farm. When you stay around the farm where the air is mostly polluted, and also in areas most namotlakasete, when carbon dioxide is too much. You know, in winter, around 5 o'clock, yeah, that exposure also has an impact on us. Flame retardants, we also talk about furnitures, electronic, certain textiles. Some furnitures do have that thing. So if we go a little bit back, some including asbestos. Yeah, that